Hello and welcome. My name is Georg Hinkel, and in this short video, I'm going to show you how to use the server-initiated connection mode for connecting against servers in the Tecan SiLA 2 SDK. Now, I've previously built in previous examples a server that exposes a greeting service. And if we run that server, and take a closer look in the logs, and you might have seen that from previous videos as well already, you see that it is exposing by default the SiLA service for discovery and the connection configuration service. So this connection configuration service is actually already the indicator that this server supports server-initiated connection, and that is because any server built with Tecan SiLA 2 SDK from version 3.2 supports server-initiated connections. So we don't have to do anything there. So how to actually demonstrate that? And for that we basically add a dependency to the client. In this case, I just added two dependencies, namely the server pool, and I also added the connection configuration client. And what we are going to do is, this thing basically connects to the server and executes the. Sorry, just looking here. Connects to the server and calls the greeting client. And what we'll do is we'll spawn a pool server, which is the concept in the SiLA 2 SDK for basically a server that pools, or for a pool that servers can connect to, and start this pool, connect to the server, and tell the server to connect to the pool, and then react to the pool getting a connection from the server, and then also saying hello from the pool. So for this, what we need is, first we need a server provider. This is a new abstraction in the 3.2 of the SDK to basically allow sharing the same gRPC server for a server and the pool server in case you want to combine this. So what we can do here is to basically say, okay, we just pass into logging and we pass a certificate provider. We'll use the file certificate provider so that the pool server gets its certificate also in the same mechanism that the SiLA 2 servers are using, namely from the files in the same in the application folder. And then we can instantiate the pool server. And this is just a new pool server. Pass in the logging, and we pass the server provider. Now this will already add the pool server to the server provider. But then we also need to configure the server provider. So we can either configure it configure it for SiLA 2 server, or we can configure it manually for a given host and port. So I'll configure that to run on the caps lock 127.0.0.1, so the loopback address and the port. So the server already uses port 552, so we'll do 553. And then, very important, we need to start the server, which we do just by start. You don't do that for a SiLA 2 server because that's basically contained in the bootstrapper. But such a bootstrapper does not exist for pool servers because usually there you have more UI attached to it. So we basically assume that you're building that into your application in a more sophisticated kind of way. Yeah, and therefore, yeah, you can also use dependency injection like the server does, but you have to do that yourself, basically. Yeah, and then we have the configuration. We've started the server, and then we find the server via discovery. We greet the server from the client, so we'll just greet it from the client, initiate the connection. And what we'll do is we'll also do a connection configuration client, set it to a new connection configuration service client, and put that to the server channel and the execution manager. And then we enable server initiated connections, and then we connect a SiLA 2 client. And here is basically the demo client we call ourselves. Again, I hit caps lock. It's incredible. Okay, and this thing is running on 127.0.0.1, and port is 150. Don't want to persist this. So if you put 2 here, then the server has to remember this, and yeah. Okay, so then the server will connect to the pool server. But what do we do then? And the question is, the answer is, this pool server has 2 things. One is a collection of connected servers, and also an event that is raised when a server gets connected. So I'll just create a Lambda function to handle the event here, and then we'll just putting on the creating a greeting service client, and that is a new greeting service client. And this time we basically take the server that has just been connected, and yeah, we can actually move this forward such that we can reuse the discovery execution manager. We don't have binaries or anything like that. Yeah, of course we need to channel, and then console white line of the pool greeting client dot say hello from the client server initiated connection. Okay, cool. So let me just put a breakpoint in here and start the server. Stop that before. Yep. And then I'll start the client. I just write to the console like console white line and not client.say hello. But now basically what happened is that the sorry, the event was raised, and we get here that there's a new server connected, it does have a channel, and you see that the implementation that is used in this channel here is a server pooling server connection. But otherwise, it's the same server. So we also get the same features, we get the same config, we get the same info object, and we can also use the same greeting service client that we also used for client-initiated connections. So basically, the kind of a client that basically describes how to fulfill a given statically known type-safe interface using SiLA 2 is exactly the same thing. And yeah, we can also, of course, write that thing to the console. And this time, I basically not just wrote client-initiated connection, but really put the greeting into the console. So here, the key message is the implementation is exactly the same for this client code. So you can have the clients totally regardless of what the how the connection is established, and also on the server side, the implementation here doesn't have any idea of whether the connection was established from the server or the client. And what you can also use in the other examples, you will see how to use binaries and metadata such as locking or authentication. And with the server data, you can actually use the same thing here. You can also use the same execution manager factory and all this machinery to also integrate locking and authentication when you connect to a server from a server pool. Well, if the server connects to the server pool, and you basically talk to the server via as a response to that event. Yeah, and with that, I hope you liked the video. There will be another few kind of videos coming afterwards, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next couple of videos. So thanks for now. Bye.